The sky changed one morning, not with storms or fire, but with silence. People stopped what they were doing and looked up. There, floating above the clouds, was something that didn't belong, a smooth, silver shape that shimmered like oil on water. It didn't crash or scream. It just arrived. Governments scrambled. Scientists argued. Soldiers stood ready. But no attack came. Instead, the aliens sent a message. It wasn't in any human language. It was clear, calm, and translated by machines almost instantly. We come in peace. We wish to speak. They called themselves the K'tari. Tall, thin beings with pale skin and eyes like mirrors. They moved with strange grace, like dancers who never missed a step. Their ships landed in several places across Earth, always in open spaces, always peaceful. The world watched everything live. First contact was happening, and it was quiet, controlled, and terrifying. Meetings began fast. Diplomats, scientists, and soldiers gathered in special zones built for the visitors. Everyone wanted to understand the K'tari. Everyone wanted to be the first to talk with them. But there was a problem. The K'tari refused to use translation devices. They would not speak through computers or robots. They wanted real voices, real conversation. So they brought in linguists, the best minds from universities and research centers. They tried everything, recordings, gestures, even music. Nothing worked. Most humans could barely hear the K'tari's speech, let alone understand it. It sounded like wind through broken glass, sharp, soft, and impossible to follow. Then came Alex Holt. He wasn't famous. He wasn't even invited at first. Just a professor from a small school in Texas, known more for strange ideas than success. He had written papers about forgotten languages, weird theories linking old myths to unknown sounds. Somebody thought he might help. So they let him in. Alex sat in the room with the others, silent at first. The K'tari spoke again, their voices like whispers underwater. Most people winced. Some turned off the sound, but Alex leaned forward. Something in the noise caught his ear. Not the meaning, not yet, but the rhythm. The way some parts repeated. The way certain tones rose and fell like waves. He closed his eyes, and for the first time, someone didn't flinch when the K'tari spoke. He didn't understand the words, but he understood the pattern, and patterns, he knew, were the beginning of language. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Alex Holt stayed late in the translation room that night. The others had gone home, tired and frustrated. Machines filled. The space with looping sounds, K'tari's speech played over and over, broken into pieces, slowed down, stretched out. He sat alone, headphones on, eyes closed, listening. The K'tari didn't speak like humans. They didn't use mouths the same way. Their voices came from deep in their chests, like music from inside a shell. What most people heard was noise. Static. But Alex heard something else. A pattern. He rewound one phrase again and again. It showed up often in their speech. Not always the same, but close. A kind of rhythm, like a heartbeat under snow. He whispered it to himself, quietly. Not loud enough for the mics to catch. Then he stopped. Something changed. The air felt different. He looked up. Across the glass wall. Two K'tari stood watching him. They hadn't been there before. One tilted its head. Then, after a long silence, it spoke. Not in clicks or hums. But in real words. Old words Alex knew. You have the voice, it said. No one else heard it. The machines didn't pick it up, but Alex did. His hand shook. His heart pounded. He whispered the phrase again, the one he had been practicing. The second K'tari stepped forward. Its mirror eyes blinked once. And then it answered in Sumerian. Ancient Sumerian. A language no human had spoken in thousands of years. Alex stared. He couldn't breathe. Behind him, the door opened. People rushed in. The K'tari turned and left without another word. Later, everyone asked what happened. Alex didn't tell them everything, only that he had said the wrong words, but somehow they were the right ones. From that day, the K'tari called him the Echo. No one else could hear what he heard. No one else could speak what he spoke. And slowly, the world began to realize the K'tari weren't just visiting Earth. They were looking for something. Something they thought was lost. Something only humans remembered. Even if we forgot, we knew it. Alex Holt became important overnight. Not because he wanted to, but because the K'tari kept asking for him. They ignored generals, diplomats, even scientists. All they wanted was Alex. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt like someone who had accidentally stepped into a puzzle, too big to understand. The K'tari told him things others couldn't hear. In quiet meetings behind thick walls, they said Earth was not just a new world to them. It was an old one. They claimed their ancestors had come here long ago, thousands of years back, when humans were still building cities from mud and stone. They had watched, taught, left marks in myths, temples, and forgotten words. Most people on Earth thought this was nonsense. Crazy ideas once whispered by men in dusty hats and wild beards. But now it came from the aliens themselves. Alex could speak to them. So the world started paying attention. Governments pulled old books from shelves. They dug up old research papers. They looked again at symbols carved into rocks and ruins no one had cared about before. That's how they found Lisa Bennett. She wasn't a famous professor. She worked at a museum, or used to. She spent her time online, collecting strange symbols, weird carvings, and odd sounds from old places. People laughed at her, called her a meme hunter, a digital treasure seeker. But she knew things that matched what Alex was hearing. One night, she sat across from him in a small room filled with maps, papers, and broken tablets scanned from museums. She played a sound file. It was a chant, recorded from a tribe in the South Pacific. No one knew where it came from. No one could translate it. Alex listened once. Then again, his eyes widened. He whispered something under his breath. Lisa smiled. "You heard it, didn't you?" she said. He nodded. In that chant, buried in a language no one used anymore, was a word. A word the K'tari had spoken. Not just similar. The same. Exactly. From that moment, they weren't just trying to translate the K'tari. They were trying to rebuild a lost language, one that belonged to neither species, a language that once connected them. A language that had been forgotten. Until now, *********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Not just linguists and scientists, but historians, codebreakers, even people who studied old songs and forgotten myths. The U.S. government pulled them together like pieces of a puzzle no one knew was missing. Alex Holt stayed at the center of it all. He didn't ask for it, but he couldn't stop it either. The K'tari kept speaking to him in bits of old language, in whispers only he could hear. Lisa Bennett worked beside him. She filled whiteboards with symbols from temples in Peru, carvings from caves in Turkey, strange markings on bones older than any known city. She found patterns where others saw noise. Together, they started building something new, a language made from pieces of the past. They called it the Echo Tongue. It wasn't just K'tari or human. It was both. A bridge between two species that once shared the same voice, but when they tried speaking it out loud, something strange happened. The K'tari didn't react with joy or surprise. They reacted with fear. At first, it was subtle. A pause too long, a head tilt that meant more than curiosity. Then came the silence. The K'tari stopped giving answers. They stopped showing up for meetings. Then, during a test session, one of them fell to its knees. Not bowed. fell. Its mirror eyes wide. Its chest rising and falling fast. It whispered something in the echo tongue. Alex understood. You are not supposed to remember. No one else heard it, but Alex did. Later, a Qatari leader met with him alone. No humans, no machines. Just them. It told him the truth. The language wasn't lost by accident. It had been erased. Long ago, there was a war among the Qatari. One side wanted to keep their bond with humans. The other believed humans were a mistake, a flaw in their history that needed to be removed. The winners wiped the language from records, from minds, from ships and stars. And now, humans were bringing it back. Alex asked why it mattered so much. The Qatari looked at him like he had just opened a door that should have stayed closed. Because language isn't just words. It's memory. And some memories are dangerous. That night, Alex sat with Lisa in a small room, surrounded by papers and broken tablets. She looked at him. So what do we do? She asked. He stared at the notes on the table. We speak louder, he said, and somewhere far away, deep in space, a silent ship stirred for the first time in thousands of years. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The Qatari were not united. That was the first secret they learned. Most humans thought all aliens were the same, one big group with one big goal. But the Qatari had sides, factions. Some wanted peace, others wanted control, and a few wanted something darker. The ones who feared the echo tongue the most belonged to a group called the Purifiers. They believed that the past was poison, that humans were a mistake, that any Qatari who still felt a bond with Earth were weak, or worse, traitors. But there were others. A small group of Qatari, once silent, began reaching out in secret. They called themselves the Remember Earths. They didn't come in ships. They didn't speak through translators. They came alone at night, slipping into human bases like ghosts. One of them found Alex during a storm. He was in his room, going over old carvings Lisa had sent him from a site in Egypt. The wind howled outside. Then the lights flickered. A voice behind him said, "You must stop." Alex turned slowly. A Qatari stood in the corner, half hidden in shadow, not hostile, not friendly. Just watching. "I can't stop," Alex said. "We're too far now." The Qatari stepped forward. Its mirror eyes caught the dim light. "You do not understand what you are doing," it said. "The war did not end. It only slept." Alex frowned. "What war?" "The war between us," the Qatari whispered. "Before your cities, before your writing. We fought over you, over what you were, what you could become." Alex sat down. His hands shook. The Qatari moved. "Closer. The Purifiers will come," it said. "They will destroy this place. They will erase your work. They will silence you." Alex swallowed hard. "Then why are you here?" he asked. The Qatari looked at him for a long time. "Because we need your help," it said. "We want to remember. But we cannot do it alone." Outside, thunder cracked. Inside, the world changed again. The Qatari held out its hand. Alex reached out, and somewhere far away, another ship lifted off, not toward Earth, but away from it. A warning. A call to arms. The war and the stars had begun again. And this time, humans were not just watching. They were choosing sides. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The Rememberers gave them a map. Not a normal one. Not something drawn on paper or screen. It was built from stars, old symbols, and sounds recorded from deep space. It showed places on Earth where the past still lived. Alex, Holt, and Lisa Bennett studied it for hours. The locations were strange, not big cities or famous ruins, but forgotten spots hidden by time. A cave in Peru no one had explored. A buried temple under ice in Antarctica. A stone circle in Turkey. older than any known civilization. They weren't just places. They were messages. The Rememberers said that long ago, before the war, some K'tari had left warnings behind, not in books or machines, but in language. Carved into the bones of the world itself. So they went. With a small team of scientists, soldiers and translators, they traveled to the first site, a valley in southern Peru, where ancient people had built strange shapes in the desert. But what they found wasn't on the surface. It was below. Digging began slow, then fast. Days passed. Then, deep underground, they found it, a chamber made of black stone, untouched by wind or time. Inside, walls were covered in writing, not K'tari, not human, but something between. Lisa ran her fingers over the tingers over the K'tari, not human, but something between. Lisa ran her fingers over the tingers. Symbols. They're teaching, she whispered. Alex looked closer. She was right. It wasn't just history. It was instruction. How to speak the echo tongue the way it was meant to be spoken. How to awaken what had been left behind. They recorded everything, took samples, made notes. Then came the second site. And the third. Each place held more pieces of the lost language, more clues, more proof that humans and K'tari once shared something deeper than contact, something like kinship. At the last site, deep beneath Antarctic ice, they found a machine. Old, silent, covered in frost. It looked like a speaker. When Alex touched it, it turned on. A voice came out. Not K single quotes Tari. Not human. Both. It spoke the echo tongue clearly, like a teacher repeating lessons to students who had finally learned how to listen. And when the voice finished speaking, the sky above cracked open. A K'tari ship, long hidden, woke up. Not friendly, not hostile. Just awake. And it was listening. Too. The language no one was supposed to remember. Language that could change everything. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The ship above Antarctica did not move at first. It just hung in the sky, silent and silver, like a forgotten star. Then it responded. Not with weapons. Not with words. With sound. A deep hum filled the air, matching the last notes of the voice from the ancient machine. The walls of the buried chamber trembled. Ice cracked and fell from the ceiling. Alex Holt stood frozen, his hand still on the old speaker. Lisa Bennett grabbed his arm. It knows, she whispered. The K'tari ship began to glow along its edges, like light trapped inside metal. A hatch opened. A ramp came down. No one came out, but a signal was sent across space, across time. Something had been awakened. Back at the base, the Rememberers reacted fast. They told Alex and Lisa they had done what no one had done in thousands of years. They had spoken the full echo tongue. And now, the ship recognized them. The purifiers found out quickly. Their ships arrived within hours, sharp, black shapes that cut through clouds like knives. They demanded the site be shut down, that the humans be removed, that the ship stay asleep. But it was too late. The ship responded only to the language, only to Alex. He didn't mean to become its pilot. No one trained him for this. But when he stepped onto the ramp, the ship moved. Lights turned on. Panels lit up. The floor beneath him pulsed like a heartbeat. Lisa followed close behind. Inside, everything felt alive. Not like human tech, not like alien machines either. It was more like walking into a thought, a place built by minds that once believed in both species. A screen appeared. Symbols blinked. Then came words. Speaker? Confirmed. Alex swallowed hard. Behind him, Lisa grinned. Well, she said, looks like you just inherited a spaceship. Outside, the world watched. K'tari ships circled above. Government scrambled. News feeds exploded with images of The waking ship and the man who walked into it like he belonged. No one knew what would happen next. But everyone knew one thing. The balance had changed. Humans were no longer just visitors to the stars. We were part of something older, something buried, something remembered. And now we had the power to speak again. In the voice of the past. In the tongue that could break the sky. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The sky lit up with ships, not just Qatari ones, but human fighters scrambling to keep control. The world watched live as the awakened ship hovered above Antarctica, glowing like a second sun. Then it moved. No attack. No warning shot. Just a slow rise into the clouds, followed by a sudden burst of speed. Alex Holt and Lisa Bennett stood inside, holding on to each other as the walls pulsed with light. The ship was not flying like a plane. It was thinking, responding to them. Especially to Alex. He didn't know how he knew what to do. He just did. Back on Earth, chaos spread. The purifiers demanded the humans be stopped. They claimed Alex had broken ancient law, that he had no right to awaken the ship, that the echo tongue was never meant to return. The Rememberers disagreed. They sent messages across global networks, not in clicks or hums, but in clear, translated words. Humans remember what we tried to forget. They are not invaders. They are kin. But words alone wouldn't stop what came next. The purifiers attacked. A fleet of black ships dropped from orbit, moving fast toward the awakened one. Missiles fired. Lasers cut through clouds. The sky became a battlefield. And then Alex spoke. Inside the ship, he whispered a phrase from the echo tongue, something he had learned in the buried chamber in Peru. The ship answered. It didn't fire back. Instead, it broadcasted. A sound wave rippled through space, hitting every Qatari ship nearby. Their systems flickered. Weapons shut down. Pilots screamed as controls locked. The language wasn't just for talking. It was for commanding. Lisa stared at him. You just turned their whole fleet into paperweights, she said. Outside, the battle ended before it could begin. Purifier ships floated helpless. Rememberer ships arrived soon after, surrounding them, capturing them. Victory didn't come with cheers or flags. It came with silence, then laughter. Not from the aliens, from humans. People watching on phones, tablets, screens all over the world. Scientists, soldiers, kids skipping school. They laughed because it was funny. The mighty aliens, so sure of their power, had been stopped by a professor and a historian speaking words from old books. Someone posted online, "We didn't beat them with guns. We beat them with homework." And somewhere far away, another ship stirred. Another voice whispered in the dark, waiting its turn. To speak again. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The war didn't end all at once. It cracked first, like old ice underfoot. The purifiers were beaten, but not gone. Some fled into deep space. Others stayed behind, silent and still, watching to see what would happen next. The Rememberers stepped forward. They no longer hid in shadows or whispered through broken signals. They landed on Earth, not as invaders, but as guests. Or maybe students. And for the first time, humans were both, teachers and learners. The echo tongue became more than a secret. It became a bridge. Alex Holt and Lisa Bennett helped build it, piece by piece, from ruins, myths, and forgotten songs. They worked with Qatari linguists who had once feared the language, now eager to learn it. A new academy rose near the site in Peru where the first chamber was found. Humans and Qatari walked its halls together. Old enemies sat at the same tables. Not always peacefully. Old wounds do not heal fast. Some Qatari still saw humans as mistakes. Some humans still feared the aliens above their skies. But the work went on. Digs began all over Earth, not just in known places, but in forgotten ones. Forests, deserts, under oceans. Every symbol carved into stone, every strange word passed down in song, was studied, and they found more chambers, more machines, more ships waiting to wake up. Each one responded only to the echo tongue. Each one remembered something the stars had tried to forget. Governments changed. No longer did humans look up at the sky hoping to be noticed. Now we looked up knowing we had roots out there. We were not just visitors. We were part of something older than any nation, any empire. Children born after the war grew up learning 2 languages, their own and the one that once belonged to both species. At night, parents told stories not of battles fought with guns, but of words that broke silence across centuries, of a professor who listened when others gave up. Of a historian who found truth in old myths, of a language that brought 2 worlds back together. And far away, beyond the edge of known space, another ship listened. Its systems flickered. Its voice waited. It heard the echo, and it knew. Someone was speaking again. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Years passed. The sky no longer felt empty. Ships moved between planets. Not just human ones, not just Katari ones, but both. Built together. Flown by crews who once would have been enemies. Alex Holt didn't become a leader or a general. He stayed a teacher. He walked through the halls of the academy every day, speaking words that had been lost for thousands of years. Words that now lived again. Lisa Bennett traveled more. She went to places humans had never seen before. Ruins on Mars, deep-sea temples under Earth's oceans, old caves where forgotten voices still whispered in stone. They were not alone anymore, but they were not finished either. Out in space, more ships waited, not all friendly, not all asleep. Some still carried the old hate. Some held memories too dangerous to wake, but there was something new now. A voice, a language. An echo. One morning, Alex stood alone in a ruined city on Mars. Wind blew through broken towers. The sun rose behind him, red and quiet. A small figure approached. A young Katari child, eyes like mirrors, skin pale as moonlight. It looked up at him. "My teacher says you saved us," it said. Alex smiled. "No," he said softly. "You saved yourselves. I just remembered what you left behind." The child tilted its head. Then, slowly, it spoke. In the echo tongue. Clear, strong, like wind after silence. Alex listened. He nodded. And then, he answered. Behind them, the sky shimmered. Far away, a ship stirred again. Not hostile, not afraid, just listening, waiting its turn. To speak. To remember. To return. And somewhere, deep in the stars, another voice joined the silence, saying the words again. Words from long ago. Words from home. Words only humans and their forgotten kin could understand. Asterisk, asterisk.